Huge shout out to my good friend Gabe Gonzalez of White House Station, New Jersey, for sending me a VHS in the mail that he saw at a church tag sale. Vanishing Point, 1971, directed by Richard C. Sarafian. It kind of has a similar vibe to the movie that I reviewed yesterday, Good Time. Although this is definitely a movie of its time, right? I feel like if you're watching Vanishing Point, you got to watch it hand in hand with Easy Rider, that came out a couple of years before that in 1969. Now, this movie was filmed in 1970. It has a 99-minute runtime. The UK version is a little bit longer. I think it's 105 minutes. They cut out a scene for the American audiences. This was originally going to be a European film, but then it ended up working out to be better with the way the story comes out in the US. So I had heard about this movie years ago. When I saw the Quentin Tarantino Death Proof movie, they kind of pay homage to this movie, and Tarantino loves Vanishing Point. One of the main parts of this movie is a white 1970 Dodge Challenger, which is the main car for Vanishing Point. So 6 1970 Dodge Challengers were on loan from the Chrysler Dodge Corporation, as well as all of the police cars in the movie were pretty much 68, 69, 70 Dodge Polaras. So that was the backing of the movie. This movie is rated R. Lots of nudity, lots of 70s hippie chicks, lots of topless women, but it's not about that. It's a complex movie. It's an existential movie. It is looking at the life of this main character played by Barry Newman. Kowalski, I think his name is the character's name. Does it say on the back? I didn't take good notes. Anyway, it doesn't matter. He was originally a San Diego police officer, a Vietnam veteran, and you see that he's a Medal of Honor winner, and he kind of has some experiences that shape who he is, and then he's out of the police force, and he is delivering cars, kind of Cannonball Run style, quickly across the USA. The movie was filmed on location across Colorado, Nevada, Utah, and ultimately ending in the Central Valley of California, not far from where I live. So it is considered a cult classic. It wasn't necessarily well received when it came out. I'm just going to read the back of the box. Marvelously well executed, says the Los Angeles Times. Vanishing Point. It has been hailed for its symbolic commentary on contemporary life, beginning with the film's very title, Vanishing Point. It is the distant place where two parallel lines such as road dividers appear to meet. But reaching this point is impossible, suggesting the futility of the hero's journey. And that's why it's like a more deep philosophical existential movie as much as it is a famous car chase across 3 or 4 states. The movie, it cost a couple of million to make, and it made a couple of million. Like I said, it wasn't a huge commercial success. Critics didn't really care for it at the time. They didn't think it worked well. But as time has gone by, like I mentioned, it's become a cult classic. Steven Spielberg highlighted it as one of his favorite films of all time. There's some great aerial scenes, just like in the movie that I reviewed yesterday, Good Time. They did really good aerial cinematography. Seeing this 1970 Dodge Charger get put through the paces. Like I said, 6 Dodge Challengers were used. 5 of them had 440s and 4-speed manual transmissions. One of them was a 383 automatic. I would love to find out what happened to these films, if any of them are in the hands of collectors. IMDb, 7.2 out of 10. The Rotten Tomato critic average is 79%. Audience score over 10,000 reporting. 81%. And I didn't even bother to look up the Google review. Got a lot on my mind. Woke up at 3:30 in the morning and I couldn't sleep. And I popped this in and I just got it in the mail a couple of days ago. But I had to get it on the docs because for years I remember them mentioning it in Death Proof. And I've always wanted to see it. The soundtrack on this movie is a very awesome soundtrack. Period soul, late 60s, early 70s, kind of the black gospel, southern gospel, but, R&B type of music. Very good. Cleavon Little is in there. The Barry Newman actor that plays Kowalski, it's just so good. He's a man of principles. He's kind of like above reproach in a lot of ways. All these hippy dippy types and counterculture types are offering him weed, but all he takes is speed to keep going. The premise of the movie that he's delivering this 1970 Dodge Challenger from Colorado to San Francisco in like 14 hours, and he bets a friend that he can make it. So then he brings all these state troopers on his tail, and he just thinks he can outwit them. It's a sad movie, just like Easy Rider. It's a dark movie. It's a disturbing movie in some ways, but it's just a real look at life, just kind of like the movie that I watched yesterday by the Safdie brothers. Not everything has a happy ending, right? Life doesn't necessarily work out, and that's what makes this movie so great. You see a guy pushed to the end of his rope, and he's in a desperate situation. He's kind of an anti-hero. Does he make it? I don't know. I don't want to give spoilers. It's over 53 years old, but you know what? We'll let you guys watch it, and I'd love to know your comments on it. It's a great movie. It's a must-watch. Not for children. I can see why it's rated R. It's not necessarily violent. There's just some disturbing content in the film. But I love the soundtrack. I love the cinematography. I love the character. I love the story. That's why this earned second 5 out of 5 in a row. I don't know if I'll get around to reviewing Death Proof or Easy Rider, but I would recommend watching this movie, Vanishing Point, and Easy Rider in kind of a weekend low-key vibe. But maybe you got to be in the right headspace to really think deeply, because if there's some serious content within. Until next time, we'll see you then.